Hello everyone. um, an update on Freedom Convoy protests in Canada, starting with mass arrests have started. Organizer has been arrested, dogs are being threatened, and a lot of accounts are being frozen by the government. The situation in Ottawa has gotten worse for the Freedom Convoy with the arrest of key organizer Chris Barber. So Chris Barber has been arrested. Barber is currently in police custody and is expected to face criminal charges as the now global protest against vax mandates and other restrictions enters the third week. So yeah, this is the democracy we live in, where the public doesn't have rights to protest or voice their concerns about mandates. Barber is also one of the three protest organizers named in the class action lawsuit filed with the Ontario Superior Court of Justice by lawyer Paul Champ on behalf of his client, 21-year-old public servant Zixi Lee. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm surprised that this 21-year-old kid, a public servant, is enlightened enough that he saw serious issues with the protesters and went on to file a lawsuit, class action lawsuit, in the Ontario Superior Court. When I was 21, I don't think I would dare do something like that. But hey, who knows? Maybe she is smart. Or he is smart. I don't know if it is he or she. Otherwise, the more logical conclusion would be that of course, she is a public servant and heavily influenced by Trudeau, or in that camp, and got marching orders from Trudeau and his ilk to do this. But hey, I'm speculating either way. The suit names Barber along with fellow convoy organizers Tamara Lich and Benjamin Dichter. I hope they aren't going to be arrested, but most likely they will. Meanwhile, the Canadian Civil Liberties Association has announced its intentions to sue the federal government for invoking the Emergencies Act in response to the ongoing protests and blockades. So they want to sue the federal government because of emergency invoked. Let's see how far that will go. Protest is how people in a democracy share their political messages of all kinds, whether they be environmental activists, students taking to the streets, indigenous land defenders, workers on strike, people who know that Black Lives Matter, and others who oppose government measures of all kinds. Look, bottom line is that's how you voice your issues in front of government. So protest and assembly to protest is like a right for the public. Canadian Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland said Thursday that financial institutions have been actively freezing the accounts of people linked to the medical freedom protest in Ottawa. So yeah, this is to me this is more concerning, because it's easy to um, put fear in anyone's mind, um, if he or she feels that they're going to lose everything. And a lot of our assets, uh, being financial assets now, it's easy to stop them from accessing, or it's easy to stop public from accessing those assets if they can be blocked, especially the bank accounts and stuff like that. The names of both individuals and entities as well as crypto wallets have been shared by the RCMP with financial institutions, and accounts have been frozen, and more accounts will be frozen. So that's what um, Freeland is saying. This is really bad. The law also allows banks to target for accounts closure donors to the GoFundMe and Give Send Go fundraising campaigns that fuel this process. Now this is even worse, because these donors are like, people like you and me. I mean, they just giving donations, what, $10, $50, $100, so on and so forth, and now their accounts will be or potentially can be closed. So that's what they're saying. Law allows banks to target the accounts of donors to the GoFundMe and Give Send Go. And by the way, Give Send Go um, wasn't willing to help the government, but they got hacked and all those accounts are out and open. GiveFundMe is working with the government, and they willingly will probably share all that information, if not already. Freeland said she wouldn't get into the specifics of whose accounts are being frozen. Yeah, I mean, you can guess that. And this is, this financial tyranny is really bad. They and that's why I always keep saying that, have some of your assets outside the system. I mean, I personally would prefer to have all my assets outside the system, but unfortunately I can't. But we should have some assets outside the system. In a final warning to assembled protesters, Freeland said that those who have their big rigs on Ottawa streets will see their insurance cancelled and their corporate accounts suspended, a move that could make it difficult for these drivers to ever work again. I mean, imagine that. You know, and this is also one of my pet theme, that it's okay for them to not allow you to earn wages and let you die of hunger, because now you will never be able to work again. Your accounts have been frozen, so there is nothing, there is no other way for you to sustain yourself. So it's okay for them to let you die because of hunger, but they don't want you to let you die because of the sickness. They want to force a jab on you. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And somehow they know what's good for you. Oh, man, upsetting. Meanwhile, mainstream outlet reporters are taking a hacked list of donors, the Give Send Go Freedom Convoy fundraisers, and have been harassing people who donated as little as $50. So that's obvious. I mean, what do you expect from mainstream media? They are harassing the common man. And this is very funny and absolutely crazy. If you are arrested in Canada with your dog they will consider it relinquished after 8 days. So for the first 8 days, they will charge you for the upkeep, and then you relinquish it. I mean, unbelievable. Moving on, Canada's Justice Minister says Trump supporters should worry about having their bank accounts frozen. Somehow it's beyond me, what the hell this Justice Minister is thinking. I mean, what does he mean by Trump supporters? If the Trump supporters are in United States, uh, their bank accounts will be in United States banks. How the hell this guy has jurisdiction over those accounts? It's beyond me. Unless they, Canadians are in cahoots with the United States government, and then US will help Canada by freezing those accounts. So that's first part. Or he means these Trump supporters were Canadians, or Canadian citizens, and their bank accounts will be frozen just because they were Trump supporters. That is also beyond my understanding. What the hell this Trump support has anything to do with trucker support? I mean, and but it makes perfect sense. All they are stating the obvious fact that anybody who is freedom loving, they're just gonna unbank them or go after them in any other way. Canadian Justice Minister David Lametti says Trump supporters who donated money to the Canadian Freedom Convoy should be worried about having their bank accounts frozen. Well, I think if you are the member of a pro-Trump movement who's donating hundreds of $1,000s and millions of dollars to this kind of thing, they ought to be worried, responded Lametti. Yeah. We are today serving notice if your truck is being used in these illegal blockades, your corporate accounts will be frozen. So that's what coming from Deputy Prime Minister. The Medi also threatened the truckers who are protesting against vax mandates with the loss of their license if they continue to participate in the demonstration. I think I've already covered that. Moving on, this is an interesting bit. So, days after Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said that he would invoke emergency orders to crack down on demonstrators by freezing their bank accounts, 5 major Canadian banks went offline on Wednesday night as customers reported their funds were unavailable, according to technology website Bleeping Computer. So 5 big banks, Royal Bank of Canada, Bank of Montreal, Scotia, TD Bank Canada, and Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, were all hit with unexplainable outages on Wednesday evening. This is very interesting. I as soon as the news came out that the bank accounts of demonstrators or the donors will be frozen, maybe within 24 hours of that, this event has happened. So it's very interesting. Maybe people got a feeling that this system is so corrupt and rotten. Let's take some of our money out of the system, as I always say, and that kind of led a bank run, and these guys got spooked and shut down their system to not allow that, or caused a deliberate outage. Or they just proactively are causing an outage because in near future there is going to be a lot of bank accounts frozen, and they don't want to give opportunity to those individuals to take the money out. I don't know what's the deal there, but this is definitely, I can guarantee you, this is not a coincidence. There is no way in the hell 5 outages, unexplainable outages, coordinated at the same time. I mean, look at the timings at all four. This is showing four, but all five happened. Maybe others too. No bank explained the source of outage, but essentially the note the outage comes, as we said above, days after Trudeau invoked the Emergency Act. By the way, here they're saying Emergency Act, invoking of Emergency Act, but actually I think the declaration of freezing accounts came afterwards, and this incident has happened like within 24 hours of that. Google Trend shows Canadians have panic searched bank run. First jumped on Tuesday, then went parabolic on Wednesday, right around the time the bank outages were reported. So yeah, this is very good data point that when people were doing a Google search on bank runs in Canada, they were probably also trying to take partially or some money out of the banks. Maybe out of the system completely, moving into cryptos and such. Very interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, so those are the updates on Freedom Convoy, and I will keep you guys posted on this in next few days, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.